audible?
Good afternoon. Yes, I can hear you and I can see you clearly.
Mm.
I like that you fixed the angle so the light doesn't. I'm glad you remembered.
Actually, in my this area, all the lights are focus lights, so I just can move my place only, my
Good.
angle.
But were you able to see what I told you, like in the recording? Did you see how it
Yes,
was
yes, yes.
distorting your lighting? Well,
Actually, at the corner there is, I think, light is
it's
there.
fine. I think it's fine. All right. Welcome back. Glad to see you. What would you like to talk about
Thank
today?
you. Thank you so much. Today I want to discuss about the struggles in learning English.
Mhm. Right. Anything specific? Any specific struggles, or do you just want to have like an open conversation about that?
No, normal. Like why people start their embark their learning journey, and after some time why they move out of that thing and why they leave it.
Right.
So it's a general
So
topic.
definitely. Like I like the topic. Um, I think we need to understand the emotions behind why we do certain things like learning a new language or mastering a new language, I would say. One can be uh the first point can be that you want to do it as a tool to excel in an industry or a career, right? So it is general curiosity and seeking knowledge, right? That is one emotion. The second could be, I would say, shame or fear, right? Shame or fear, I said.
Means why shame?
Let's say you are a person who's living in South Delhi or South Mumbai, right? And you've always spoken to your friends and family in Hindi or your mother tongue, whether it's Gujarati, Marwadi, Punjabi, whatever it is. And then suddenly you realize that you're about to get married, like your marriage window or that age that people keep talking about, right? That's coming up, and you want to make sure that you are presentable or you are appealing to the other person or the other family, right? And nowadays, how well people can present themselves and how well they can speak in English is very important, other than the money in the house and the cars part, I would say. So
So
I've
in
seen a lot of people who come up to me and said, I need to learn English in the next 3 to 4 months because I'm
Mhm.
meeting girls, and when they ask me questions in English and I give them answers, I can see them get a little, you know, they're a little uninterested in me after
Means
I give
we
them.
can say that like instead of using this word shame and fear to present themselves in a better way.
Definitely, but see, if you want to present yourself in a better way, the feeling from inside has to be that knowledge, the pursuit of knowledge, I would say, or that pursuit of excellence, I would say, right? Now that part comes a little bit more in corporate when you know you have to do presentations in English, when you have to talk to your stakeholders, when you have to talk to potential clients, give them presentations on your product, right? That is where it's
Hmm.
like I want to excel in this certain feature or a particular characteristic in my personality. But the fear part, I know the reason I'm saying this and I'm thinking about this, okay, is because they do it, and I've seen my friends do the same thing. They get better at English, and as soon as they get engaged or married, they stop learning. They
Oh,
stop pursuing that, right? It's because they
so
were only focused on
we
that
can
one
say
target.
that yes, only for that purpose to get married.
Yeah, so that's where shame and fear comes into play. And I know these are very
Mhm.
strong words that I'm using, but I'm just trying to show that certain people, and again, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not putting any of these people down. I'm just trying to categorize why certain people want to learn English, what are their
Mhm.
goals, right? And they can be time sensitive, they can be something that is short term, right? That's all.
Mhm.
Because I completely understand how first impressions are. If your English is not that good, some people might be they might pull back their interest or they might pull back the attention that they give you, right? But a lot of people I've seen they get better in English where they can present themselves in certain situations. And once the initial connection is done and they get to know each other, they realize that okay, not knowing English is
It's
not that
fine now.
important.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because that person is really good. I'm not saying that people are pretending or something. They're not being fake. It's just something like if you're going to a Mercedes showroom, you cannot drive up in a Alto. You have
Hmm.
to have a certain level of car, right? For that entry and for that person to take you seriously. That's all.
Yes, yes. So, mean to have that first impression, you need to present yourself very like as a well polished person in language and manners. So that
Yeah.
is the one purpose of learning any language or a skill.
It's one of the reasons people start learning the language, I would say.
Yes. So, in seeking knowledge or for your better job or business for perspective, we can learn any language. And to present themselves in a other word you use shame and fear to present oneself in a better condition, we the person starts learning English. What are
Yeah.
the other reasons why a person starts learning something? Means if we talk
Um,
about English language.
I mean, then these I think are two very high emotions that make people do things. And when they start off with these two emotions that I mentioned, the motivation is high and the drive to do it is very high. Other
Yes.
motivations are available. I think one would be uh, some people autopilot, right? So when let's say you, right, you have enrolled your kids in a school where they will make sure that your kids can communicate in English, right? Whereas other people did not have that opportunity. They come from Hindi medium schools or whatever their regional languages, from that sort of background. So for them, learning English has become like a third party self-motivated activity, I would say, right? Which is again not bad, but they don't have the same guidance, they don't have the same environment. That's what makes it difficult. So I think another reason would be the autopilot part where you learned English and then you went into an industry or you started working with your family where you don't have the same environment or don't have the same exposure. And then suddenly you realize in 3, 4 years that hey, I'm not that fluent or that confident anymore. So then again, you have to restart your journey. I wouldn't say restart, but like sort of revise everything that
Yes,
you, yeah,
practice. Yes.
exactly. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of people do this because I've had teachers from remote locations come to sessions and I ask them, hey, how can I help? And they say that honestly, when I was in my city, whether it's Delhi, Mumbai, whichever city in India, I was completely fine because I had friends and family and people who would talk to me in English. But I took this teaching job and I came to this remote village. And now I come here and I teach English. And 3 months in or 6 months in, I realize that all I'm doing is talking to people who are bad at English. So I'm picking up those things which I don't want, right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
I
It
don't have
happens.
anybody, I don't have anybody to practice with, or I don't have anybody to have these conversations with except maybe a couple of phone calls here and there, which I don't think is enough for me to maintain my level of English, right? So they come here and then they practice for that as well. So I don't know how to classify this, like in terms of the emotion itself, but I would say this has to do with the fact that they don't want to lose out on the growth that they work so hard for all these years, right?
Yes,
That is
yes,
another way
yes.
to revise or maintain certain levels. uh, Another
Hmm.
reason I think people would learn English is if they are moving abroad, right? And again, this is very niche because let's say you're moving to America or the UK, then I think the Indian education for how we speak in English is completely fine. But if it's something super specific, like if you're going to Ireland, then you have to sort of get certain things right. That accent is incredibly difficult for people to understand. If you go to Wales, if you go to in UK, there are a lot of accent.
Dialects,
I would
yes, accents
say,
are there.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly, yeah. So Scouse accent is really difficult for Indians to understand. I know because when I watch something, I watch it with subtitles because I don't want to miss out on the meaning of it. But I know when there's a funny clip and I'm showing it to my wife and she's like, what language are they talking in? And I don't blame her because when I initially started, I had the same feeling because Scouse can be a little difficult. Birmingham, Manchester accents can be a little difficult. So again, I said it's niche, but like if you are planning to move to these places, you sort of have to. download like the foundation pack of that, dialect or that accent, I would say. Even though you are already well versed with how English is spoken, I think they're
No,
they're
they are very like it's there is a large difference between American and British English too. Like
yeah,
American, they use different pronunciation and contraction is mostly used in American. T and D sound is
right,
entirely different.
right.
So we need to prepare if we are moving abroad.
We do, but like, okay, I'll give you an example. So let's say you are someone who has had an education in an English medium school in India. Okay. You are 80% there for both American and British, right? So all your learning, if you are planning to study in the US or in the UK, in most parts of UK, all you're doing is just understanding the terminology a little bit more to understand what they're going to say, right? And just certain pronunciations, because these are both countries that are welcoming global, like students globally, like internationally, right? So you can go and you can have a class where you have a South African, you have a Pakistani, you have an Indian, you have a Chinese person, you have a Russian student, all of these. So it is expected for people to expect this sort of 20-30% difference when we're talking about certain things. That's fine. That's why I mentioned that when you go to Ireland, yes, Ireland is also a student country where a lot of students go. But for you to understand what the locals are saying, it is going to be much more difficult, right? That is where you're not 80% there. You are probably 50 or 60% there, where you know what most words mean, but you're not going to use those words. You know, they're going to say, "What's the crack?" And what's the crack means, "Hey, what's new? What's going
Me-
on in your life?" Right?
yes, yes, yes,
So
yes.
I have a friend who is from Ireland, and trust me, it was a pain to talk to him in the beginning, but now I kind of understand what he's trying to say. And we used to play a certain game online together. So he
Mhm,
would say certain things in the heat of the moment when we were fighting other teams. And
mhm,
I'll just not say anything because I'm like, okay, now I can't argue with him because we're doing something. But later, like 10 minutes later, when he's cooled down a little bit, I'm like, hey, what did that mean? What did that word mean? And
mhm.
he's like, dude, why didn't you ask me earlier? And I'm like, clearly we were in the middle of something, so I couldn't ask you earlier. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I myself was overwhelmed when I actually one-on-one had a conversation with him about certain things. And yes, he was very kind in generalizing his statements. He didn't use a lot of Irish terms, but sometimes the accent threw me off. Sometimes the words that he used instinctively threw me off. So I think that is also one reason why people want to learn certain aspects of English or whatever accent
Yes, yes,
they are
yes,
going to
yes.
encounter.
Because native speakers they use very much like what we call slang language, and the English words are there which we
Yeah.
know. And so if like these are the main purpose or motivation or some aspects which motivate someone to learn some any skill or learning English,
Yeah.
then why the people leave that journey in between?
Um, it can be. Are you talking about like people who live in India? Or are you talking about like in general?
Indians, general means a learner. Like suppose if I talk about specify like some YouTubers are there. They are every day they are uploading some English content. But if you talk about their learning, they are not means they are not getting that. Means I don't want to use that word. Means they are not capable to
Improving at that
present.
level, you would
Yes,
say.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. They have some plateau. Means not plateau even means they are daily uploading videos just for the sake of channel or more for this
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
work. But personally, if talk about the English journey, they are not improving a lot. Though they have spent their 2 3 months in this way. So after some time, like if there is some purpose, I need my channel to be monetized. I'm going to upload this and this. I need to get
Your
so and
priorities
so
change.
subscribers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. But the thing is, when you feel that you are not getting your target, you are not able to hit that mark. So you leave that journey and say, "Oh, it's a totally wastage of time. Why
Yeah.
to go? I mean, so why to hang on this and let's do something else." So the main struggle is why we stop learning. Like we start any journey with very means we are energetic and motivated, and after sometimes after a week, after a month, we leave that. The reason is that we feel that we are not motivated now, or consistent in learning some journey, and that motivation is not working. Like motivation is
Definitely.
external. Yes.
Yeah, and it's not just motivation. Sometimes you start, how do I have an example for this? Sometimes you start a project or a certain task with a goal in mind, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I might start my English learning journey thinking, I want to excel in this. I want to be the best speaker in the room at all times, whether it's presenting to public, whether it's communicating one-on-one with a stakeholder, with a boss, something, right? But down the line, my priorities or my goals might change because something else is more financially or otherwise beneficial for me, right? So how do I think of this? Okay, let's think of Zoom as an example, the Zoom app,
Yeah.
okay, that we're using.
Yes.
So I think Zoom started as a replacement for Google Meet because Google Meet didn't have certain features that Zoom provides, right? But as soon as the pandemic hit, Zoom became instantly famous, I think for various reasons, for
Yes.
the
Yes. Yes.
functionality,
Yes.
for the features that they were offering, and the fact that you
Hmm.
had more room to like decide the size of your screen or record these meetings and have it saved in your drive, whatever it is. I think that is when Zoom decided to pivot and become more commercialized. So they made more
Hmm.
features for people who are buying office plans or in the enterprise plans. They call it enterprise plan. I've seen the pricing because when I remember initially going on to Zoom, because people are like, oh my God, Zoom is everything. People are always meeting on Zoom and they're sitting on Zoom during the lockdown, peak lockdown. That time, I don't think they had that many paid plans. But as I started working at Clapingo. Like I started working Clapingo during the lockdown, and we
Okay.
had adopted Zoom as our video like conversational app. I started looking at the more economic, like professional side of it, and as I move forward with my career in Clapingo, I've noticed how Zoom has moved more towards corporates and providing plans for 50 people meetings or 200 people meetings, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like Zoom might have started just as an innocent video chat app where people can come, hang out. But as soon as that need came up, they realized, they identified the need for corporates to have this scheduling option where it's a recurring meeting and they always have to come in for a daily meet to talk about their goals or whatever it is with their boss for stand-ups. They call it stand-ups. So I think that is where Zoom pivoted. And I think a lot of people do that. Okay. Now, our human nature, I'll answer that question that you gave me about YouTube was not sort of perfecting their English. Right. I don't know if they're doing this on purpose. But there are a lot of times in life where I'm looking at something and I'm like, why is this thing not perfected yet? This is so simple. I mean, it's not simple for me, obviously, but like for someone at that scale, it should be simple. I'll give you an example. The Indian municipal corporations, okay, you look at certain things that people have done. Like I'm from Mumbai, so I look at Sea Link, I look at Coastal Road, I look at Marine Drive, and I'm thinking these roads are so good. They are up to a standard code, internationally speaking. And then I look at all the other roads in Mumbai, and every one of them is either dug up or they have some potholes in it. And I'm wondering, how have you perfected creating a 23-kilometer bridge on the sea and it has zero issues, right? But you can't maintain a road that's been here for the last 100 years with a simple pothole or like a proper water drainage system or something like that, right? I'll give you another example. I game a lot on my laptop, right? And I'm sure you heard of FIFA as a game, the football
My
game.
kid, my boy, he plays a lot. And why don't you, means what do you use in your eyes then? My son, he has like muscle irritation, red eye. He always
Mhm.
have that left eye as red. So what do you use for that?
I mean, I don't really game that much. Plus, because I've had a back issue for a while, I play for like 20, 30 minutes and then I go for a walk. So I
Okay.
either go to pet my dog, I go to get a glass of water or something. So I keep my movement there because throughout lockdown I was just sitting here for 6, 7 hours and I think I've ruined some muscles in my back. And my boss has
Mhm.
said that sorry, my physiotherapist has said that I have tech neck. Tech neck is like
Oh.
for people who are working from home, they're always like hunched over and all.
Mhm.
But anyway, I'll
Yes,
come back to my
yes.
example.
Mhm.
So FIFA, okay. Now every year I'm anticipating the new FIFA that's coming out. Every year they come out with a new one. And I look at content creators sort of give their reviews on these games. And every year the content creator says that this game is just slightly better than previous year's game, right? Enough for people to want to buy it, but not enough for everybody to want to buy it because there's not that much of a change. And I was thinking about it and I'm like, they've been making these games for like 20 years, 25 years. They've mastered so many things about vision, about how they 3D scan faces so the footballers look more like the actual real life footballers. They've done so much. They've come so far, but they're still lacking in that X factor where people are like, oh my God, I can't wait to buy this game. I think nobody says that anymore.
Mhm.
And I realize
Mhm.
that human nature is such that if you perfect something, if they make the perfect game next year, right, everyone's going to buy it. But then the year after that, nobody's going to buy that game because then they'll be afraid that what if this game is not better than the last, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Comparison is there.
if you perfect something, it'll be the end of your business or whatever it is. I'll give you an example. Tupperware. Tupperware
Huh.
is just
Yeah.
filed for bankruptcy if you don't know, right?
Oh,
And they're
okay. Yeah,
shutting
yes.
down. And the biggest reason they said is the product was so good that we didn't have repeat sales. And I'm sure you've experienced this. I'm sure you bought a
Durable. Yes,
Tupperware
their
five,
products were
6 years ago.
durable.
Yeah,
Yes.
you buy a Tupperware 5, 6 years ago, and then you never buy a Tupperware again because you don't have to.
Again.
And that is what
Yes.
killed their business.
Yes, yes, yes.
The fact that they were too good was why they died. And also there was
Yes,
also a
yes.
factor of they were not willing to sell online and all that. But that is secondary, But anything where you feel like, and this is why I'm talking about YouTubers, the day the YouTubers become fluent speakers, their appeal will go away. Because right now they connect with people who don't understand, who are making silly mistakes, who can't quite put a finger on what they're doing wrong. But the day the YouTubers themselves become perfect, right, then they'll just be another influencer who's talking about English. This is again
Correct.
my theory. I'm not saying it's true, right? So even
Right,
if they
right.
do actually become better, it is financially or in appeal wise better for them to make mistakes so that people can come. I've noticed this in football channels. Like I watch a lot of football channels where people talk about which player can go to which team, right? They analyze stats, they analyze how many goals a team can score, how they're predicted to do well in the next year. And I've noticed some content creators they make intentional mistakes, right? This is called rage bait. They make
Okay.
intentional mistakes. So people open the comment section and say, oh my God, you're so stupid. You made this mistake. Write this down. I mean, whatever. But if I make a video about football and I give every fact accurately, I'll get 20 comments, 30. Let's say I'll get 100 comments saying, oh my God, thank you for this analysis. Thank you for this video. Right? If I say Cristiano Ronaldo is from India, how many comments do you think I'll get?
Oh, many means numerous in thousands or lakhs. You don't know that.
Exactly. Now imagine I go and say Sachin Tendulkar is a terrible cricketer. How many comments do you think I'll get?
Yes, for this also.
Right? Exactly. So this is where I realize that efficiency is not always good. Being the best at
Correct.
something or perfecting a certain system is not always good.
Because people they cannot digest that. Like how for how long they going to see or that sorry, perfect person, perfect things, perfect game.
Yeah. It'll
So
just if a YouTuber became perfect at speaking English, it would just intimidate all the people who are trying to follow them.
yes, 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 yes.
So do you understand how weird human psychology is? That how weird human psychology is that it is scared of perfection or the most efficient version of something.
Mm-hmm,
Mm.
mm-hmm,
Just
mm-hmm.
letting you know because I get pissed at so many things that they're not perfect. And once I understood why they're not perfect, it made so much sense to me. And I have so much peace in me, honestly, because now I'm not mad at these things. And I don't know if that
Hmm.
is your same feeling, but you can Google this, you can do your own research. It's a very fun topic, by the way, why things are not perfect. And
So it's better to have I'm perfectly imperfect.
yes,
Okay.
that is where you're the most efficient.
Yes, very nice, very nice. Means it's a quote for your motivation, right? I'm perfectly imperfect.
Yeah. See, it's about how people misconstrue this. I hope they don't take this the wrong way and say, "Oh, Divyam sir said it's okay to be perfectly imperfect, so I'm going to be incorrect about my grammar or my past tense or
No,
something."
no, no.
Please, no, that's not what I mean. Please watch this whole
Uh,
video and understand what we mean by when we say that.
Yes, yes. But the thing is, like, why to leave the something? If you are there, you have set your goals for achieving something. My view is that you should be honest to your goals. Keep moving on your path, what you have decided, and show up daily. Like, don't be biased by your emotions, or you are tired, you are running sort of your time, you are not feeling good, you are not in mood. So, if
Yeah,
you have taken your target, you should move ahead with
yeah,
consistency. Means I
yeah.
love that word. You should be consistent, like, and consistency is the word or thing that beat your motivation. Even means if you are not feeling motivated, then also you should show up every day.
You should strive for discipline and consistency. Yes.
Yes, be self disciplined and be consistent, and it's very not too far to achieve anything.
Yeah.
It's if we
Just
say that it's the that imperfect target too.
yes, definitely. So just a heads up, the meeting is going to auto disconnect in like 30
Yes, yes,
seconds.
yes.
So I
Yeah.
want to say bye nicely this time. I think last time also we got disconnected if I'm not wrong. But
Okay,
anyway,
fine.
thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Nice
much.
talking to you. Same
Yes,
here.
I can't wait to see this video on YouTube, by the way. This is an exciting topic. We got a little off track, but I think whatever we spoke about was fun and what would give a lot of insight to a lot of
It's
people who didn't think about
of
things this way.
course, and it should work as a source of motivation for others too. And it's a humble request to ask your editor to give this title "Struggles in Learning English" or "I'm Imperfectly Perfect" or whatever. Like,
Yep, you just got your video title.
yeah. Thank you so
All
much for
right.
connecting. Thank you, sir. Have a
Yes.
nice day.
Thank you. You have a lovely day as well, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Let's catch up again. Thank you so much. Bye.
Definitely, yes. Bye bye.